Imagine a line, you can't see it, you can't touch it, but it's there. This line divides the natural world in a dramatic way. It splits the islands of Indonesia. It separates the animals of Asia and Australia. This line is the Wallace Line. The Wallace Line is a biogeographical boundary. It marks a transition zone between two very different regions. On one side you have the lush rainforests of Southeast Asia. On the other side you have the arid landscapes of Australia. The line is named after Alfred Russell Wallace. He was a British naturalist. He traveled extensively through the Malay archipelago in the 19th century. He noticed something peculiar. The animals and plants on either side of this invisible line were remarkably different. This invisible line, the Wallace Line, is a testament to the power of nature. It shows us how geography, climate, and evolution can shape the distribution of life on Earth. Alfred Russell Wallace was a remarkable man. He was driven by an insatiable curiosity about the natural world. In the mid-1800s, he embarked on an epic journey through the islands of the Malay archipelago. This region, now known as Indonesia, is an archipelago of thousands of islands. These islands sit between mainland Southeast Asia and Australia. Wallace traveled for 8 years. He meticulously documented the plants and animals he encountered. He observed a striking pattern. The species found on islands to the west were dramatically different from those to the east. There seemed to be an invisible barrier separating them. Wallace collected thousands of specimens. He studied their characteristics and distributions. He discovered that the islands west of the line shared similarities with the Asian mainland. These islands were home to animals like tigers, elephants, and primates. However, east of the line, a different story unfolded. The islands here were inhabited by creatures more typical of Australia. These included marsupials like kangaroos and wallabies, as well as unique bird species like cockatoos and birds of paradise. These observations led Wallace to propose the existence of the line that now bears his name. The Wallace Line acts like an invisible wall. It separates the animals of two continents. On the western side we find the fauna of Asia. This includes mammals like tigers, rhinos, and orangutans. These animals are adapted to life in dense rainforests and grasslands. On the eastern side, the fauna is distinctly Australian. Here, marsupials dominate. Kangaroos, wallabies, and koalas are common sights. These animals are adapted to the drier, more open landscapes of Australia. The difference in fauna is most striking when you look at mammals. Asian mammals are mostly placental. They give birth to live young that have developed inside the mother's womb. Australian mammals, on the other hand, are mostly marsupials. They give birth to relatively undeveloped young that complete their development in a pouch. The Wallace Line also marks a difference in bird life. The western side is home to colorful birds like peacocks and hornbills. The eastern side boasts unique birds like birds of paradise and cassowaries. This stark contrast in animal life on either side of the Wallace Line is a testament to the long history of isolation between these two regions. Let's take a closer look at some specific animals. This will illustrate the dramatic impact of the Wallace Line. On the western side we find the Sumatran rhinoceros. This critically endangered animal is found only on the Indonesian islands of Sumatra and Borneo. Cross the Wallace Line and you won't find any rhinos at all. Similarly, monkeys are abundant west of the line. Orangutans, macaques, and langurs swing through the trees, but east of the line monkeys are completely absent. Instead we find tree kangaroos. These marsupials have adapted to life in the trees, filling a similar ecological niche. Birds also show a clear division. West of the line we find colorful birds like kingfishers, bee-eaters, and pitas. East of the line, the bird life is dominated by parrots, cockatoos, and honey-eaters. The striking birds of paradise, with their elaborate plumage, are also found only east of the line. These are just a few examples of the many animals whose distribution is affected by the Wallace Line. It is a powerful reminder of how geographical barriers can shape the evolution and distribution of life on Earth.